This is kind of an upsetting video regarding NASCAR, but this is just something I wanted to get out of the way right before. Dale Earnhardt Jr. not in the chase on his final season. It blows. No championship, no Brickyard 400 win, no Coca-Cola 600 win, no Southern 500. But at least he got 2 Daytona 500 wins and 26 career wins. Some may think that's underperforming, but it's still more wins than Bobby Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, and such others. A lot of NASCAR drivers are lucky enough to even get around 1 to 5 wins. I'm just making this video because it just sucks that Dale Earnhardt Jr. won't go out on a high note. Is this it? Is an issue with a concussion really how his career is going to end? Because I think his concussion has a lot to do with his underperformance this year. He's probably afraid that he'll have a bad crash and he'll get another bad concussion. I think it's unfortunately the right time for him to retire. Concussion is very serious, folks. A lot worse than breaking bones. It fucking blows that he's not gonna go out on a high note. He's not in the chase. He was doing pretty damn well at Richmond. It seemed promising, but right after that, couldn't even make it in the top 10. Just 4 top 10s this season. And it really pains the fuck out of me that Austin Dillon is in the chase and that Junior isn't. Like, fuck! Jimmy Johnson, why couldn't you have saved a lot of gas at Charlotte? Why? I'm not necessarily hating Dillon, but to know that a scrub like him is in the chase and that a decent driver like Dale Earnhardt Jr. isn't, it fucking pains the shit out of me. The best thing I can hope for is that Dale Earnhardt Jr. could get a lucky win sometime in somewhere in between the last 10 races. But I ain't holding my breath. At this point, I'm more likely to win the lottery than Junior is to win a race. I'm glad I got to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. win at Richmond, though. And to think my driver, Jimmy Johnson, finished second behind him. I was wanting Jimmy to win, but now, looking back, I am damn well glad Junior won that race. At the time, when I was 7 years old, I was hoping Jimmy would win, of course, but now that I am 13 years into the future, glad it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Thank fucking goodness that he won. It just really blows that he didn't live up to the height that he got. A lot of people will continue to say that he's only loved because of the name, but that's absolutely not true. Some people have told me that the movie Cars is what linked to Dale Earnhardt Jr. You know, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s red A car was featured in the movie Cars, so Kyle Petty said it himself. I may not be too fond with Kyle Petty most of the time, but he was right. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has fans of his own that are not linked to his father. Besides, Dale Earnhardt Sr. had plenty of haters. And I'm sure that the majority of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s fan base are quite possibly former Dale Earnhardt Sr. haters. They probably like Jr. because he's more gentle with his driving than Dale Earnhardt Sr. was, because back in the days, my dad, as a big Earnhardt fan himself, even admits that he was a bit of a bully to a lot of people, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. drives like a gentleman most of the time. There is no denying that whatsoever. You cannot deny it at all that Dale Earnhardt Jr. really is a gentleman on track and off track. It's just, what has he what did he do to deserve all the concussions he went through? It's depressing. You know, I don't know if I'll get the chance to go to Homestead, but since he's running retro the retro scheme of his in his early days, the retro paint scheme of that number 8 car, I hope I go to Homestead, or get the chance to go to Homestead to see that car one last time. Unfortunately, I couldn't go see my first favorite driver, Jeff Gordon's last race, which that last race at Homestead in 2015 really isn't his last race anymore, given that 2016 Martinsville is now officially his last race. But thanks to Junior being absent due to his concussion. But yeah, but at the same time, the reason I want to go Homestead is to end my best year ever, 2017, on a high note. To see if Jimmie Johnson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., or Kyle Larson could win the title. It'll most likely be Truex, but some douchier drivers could also possibly win the championship, like Kyle Busch. I'm not a hater of Kyle Busch, but he has been acting up suspiciously this year a lot. I stopped hating him, well, not hate, I didn't really hate him to begin with. I stopped disliking him mid-2015 to the entirety of 2016, but once he started acting like a bit of a baby again in 2017, my disliking of him is kind of there now, once again. I'm sorry, guys, that was a big tangent, but yeah, back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm glad he also got a really great... He was able to make a comeback in 2014 with 4 wins, and maybe even be a possible contender for the title. But thanks to the garbage chase, that didn't turn out well. And he could have been the 2013 champion if he didn't blow his engine, but unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of glad he blew the engine just so I could see my driver, Jimmie Johnson, win in 2013. Jimmie Johnson was great the whole year that year anyway. But, yeah. To think back to 2004, Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually would have been the champion that year if he didn't swear after his Talladega win, or if NASCAR wasn't so PC about it, or shallow, and if he didn't wreck at Atlanta, he probably would have been the champion, or would have came close. It sucks that he has to go out like that. It sucks that his career has to end like that. Whatever happened to going out with a bang? And now we're all at a point now where Junior's lucky enough to get at least one more win, or even get at least one more top 10 this season. And it sucks that it has to be like this. It sucks that he now has to live with that concussion issues of his. Fuck me. But hey, no matter how much you'll enhance the safety in NASCAR. There's still going to be some injuries and a bit of worry. It does suck that shit like as this can get unsatisfying, but I don't know how we'll deal with it for the rest of the season. It sucks. I gotten it all off my chest now. I just wanted to make this video so I could just stop mourning over it. Space out, everybody.